Ever wondered if the success you're having in your relationships is actually a superpower that you're neglecting? What if I told you that interpersonal relationship skills aren't just about making more friends, but it's actually the key to a happier, healthier, and more successful life? Hi, I'm Jarrels. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I help couples find their happy. Today is about interpersonal relationship skills, what they are, and how you can improve yours the easy way. Also, stay tuned to the end because I've got a surprising fact about why your very life might depend on your abilities in interpersonal relationships. Let's get started. First things first, let's take a look at why are interpersonal relationship skills so important. They're important for a few reasons. The first one is your mental well-being. Healthy relationships help foster emotional support, which will reduce stress, anxiety, and help you maintain a healthy mental attitude. The next reason they're so important is it helps foster personal growth. When you have good interpersonal relationship skills and really good relationships with other people that are open communication, it allows you to learn about yourself as well as learning about them. The next one is your professional success. Now, your professional success obviously is going to depend on your interpersonal relationship skills, how well you are at collaborating, implementing teamwork, and then connecting with others. So this is going to help you not only in your romantic relationships, but in your professional relationships as well. We've talked a little bit about why those interpersonal relationship skills are so important. Next, let's take a look at what those skills are and what you can do to improve them. The first skill you're going to need to improve is your communication. I know, right? It sounds simple, and it can be. Here are 3 effective ways to improve your communication skills right now. The first one, and I'm sure you've heard of it, active listening. Now, what's the difference between active listening and just listening? The difference is a true, genuine desire to understand what the person is saying. It isn't about listening so that you can respond. It's about actively listening to understand. So as the other person is talking, you take the time you need to completely understand what it is that they are trying to tell you. You ask questions to make sure you get clarification on it before you come up with your own answer or response to what they're saying. The next skill you're going to want to polish in order to become an effective communicator is learning to use assertiveness. Now, this means doing it in a healthy way, but being able to put forth your ideas, your opinions, and what it is you need in a way that makes it clear that those are your desires without being oppressive or arrogant. This will allow you to set healthy boundaries. This can help eliminate miscommunications, and it also allows you to foster healthier relationships with honesty and transparency. The last skill you're going to need to pick up on is nonverbal cues. Now, why are nonverbal cues so important? Studies have shown that almost 97% of communication is nonverbal. So yes, while your words are very important and listening to those words for understanding is critical, it is imperative that you learn to read nonverbal cues as well. These nonverbal cues can include tone, pace of speech, hand gestures, body language, facial expressions, anything that sends a message without using words to do so. Being able to pick up on, interpret, and understand nonverbal communications will deepen your ability to communicate with others, because not only does it allow you to pick up on their nonverbal cues, but it allows you to send some yourself so that you can make sure that your message is getting sent to them and interpreted by them in the way you want it to be interpreted. In addition to just being able to sense, interpret, and understand what other people's nonverbal cues are, having a deep understanding of how to use them will help make your communication more sincere and deeper. The next or second really important interpersonal skill you're going to need to polish is your ability to build trust and empathy with others. Trust is the bedrock for any and all relationships. If you feel that you can count on that person, you can rely on them, and then confide in them, it's someone that you can trust in, the relationship has a chance to grow. Empathy, on the other hand, is your ability to share thoughts, feelings, and emotions with others in a way that is non-judgmental so that you can share and express what's going on with you and then understand what's going on with them. All right, so what are some of the strategies that we can utilize to enhance our trust and empathy building? The first one is using honesty and transparency. Now, what does that mean? It means being truthful to yourself, honest with others, and being completely transparent. Let your actions follow your words. So what you say you're going to do, do. And when you do that, you'll show very, very quickly that you're honest in not only the things that you say, but in your actions as well. The next one is empathetic understanding. Now, what does this mean? It means being able to listen to others, pick up on their feelings, and then validate them even if you don't agree with them. It's being able to put yourself in a position that allows you to see it from their perspective, acknowledge that they have a different perspective than you, if it varies, and then being able to accept it, validate it, and move on from there. This builds stronger connections with people because they see that they can trust you with not only their thoughts, but their feelings as well. The third skill that we need to hone and polish if we're going to get really good at interpersonal relationship skills is conflict resolution. Keep this in mind. Conflicts are a natural occurrence. They happen in every relationship. So if you're prepared for them when they come up, it's not going to blindside you. Conflicts typically arise when there's a misunderstanding or a disagreement between you and the person you're talking. How you address that conflict or that disagreement, that misunderstanding, is going to set the stage for your ability to communicate well with that person. So if we can learn to diffuse conflict, or at least to suppress it when it arises, it's going to enhance our ability to communicate with others and make things much better for us. Next, I want to touch on some of the strategies that you can use to easily improve your conflict resolution. All right, the first thing you're going to want to learn to do is use calm communication. Okay, that means being able to talk to somebody without getting caught up and swept up in the emotion that you might actually be feeling. Just keep it down, keep it in, use your voice, use your nonverbal communication, and talk in a calm manner. Don't be afraid to use pauses or to take time to think before you respond. The next one, and this isn't my favorite, is compromise. While I'm typically not a fan of compromise, I do think it's important in conflict resolution if you give the definition a little bit of leeway. So I don't think compromise necessarily needs to be a lose-lose situation. It doesn't mean both of you are giving up so much stuff that neither of you feel like you win. I think if you do it properly and you really talk through it in a calm fashion, you're going to be able to find some common ground that you both can agree on. And I think expanding on that common ground, or basically getting to the meaning of what it is that you're finding disagreement with, I think there's going to be enough area there that if you're both willing to just move a little bit, I think you can move yourselves to a place where you can agree more. The last one is the toughest one for everybody, and that one is forgiveness and apologizing. So being able to apologize for what you've done wrong, and when somebody else is arguing or carrying on a conflict and they want to apologize, it's being able to accept their apology and forgive them. What this does, though, is it helps eliminate or squash all of the negative feelings that you may have held for one another in the previous moment. This will help allow you to build that trust and empathy that you need to improve your communication skills. Now, before we get too much further, I definitely want to touch on the bonus that I promised you earlier. All right, this is a surprising fact about interpersonal relationship skills that you may not have been aware of. Before, I alluded that your life might actually depend on your ability and your interpersonal relationship skill level. Well, here's why. It turns out studies have shown that people who have a very high interpersonal relationship skill and have many really solid interpersonal relationships, they live longer than those who don't. In fact, some recent studies have even shown that living with poor social or interpersonal relationships can affect your health so much that it's on par with other risk factors such as smoking, obesity, and high blood pressure. This illustrates the profound need for you to get better at your interpersonal relationship skills to have a longer, healthier, and happier life. That's it for this video. If you found it informational, please do give me a like and subscribe, and put in the comments any experiences or any questions you have about interpersonal relationship skills. Thanks again. Bye for now.